Welcome to a brief demonstration of Hermit, which is a distributed data caching and query tool. Hermit allows data from multiple different sources to be brought together within a distributed in-memory caching environment. The data may then be grouped and filtered using a simple query interface. Hermit is written using the Scala programming language and runs within the Java virtual machine. This demonstration uses 4 instances of Hermit. There are 3 instances, each hosting a separate data source, and 1 instance acting as a master host through which queries across all data sources may be executed. This is an example configuration to demonstrate the distributed aspect of Hermit, and it would be just as easy to run this example through a single instance. Okay, so we're navigating to the URL of the master instance, localhost port 8080 in our case. We are presented with the main query screen. This query screen is broken into 4 distinct sections. Let's examine each one in turn. Firstly, we have the data source selector, where we can pick which data sources we would like to be included in our query. As can be seen, in this scenario we have position data for 3 regions: London, New York and Tokyo. Let's add each of these to our query. Now that we have added data sources, we can see that the group by and balance options are now available for selection. The group by selection will allow us to specify which of the attributes relevant to the selected data source that we would like to use to aggregate our data. These tend to be string-based values from the underlying data set. Let's pick product description and account description. The balances section allows us to specify which of the values in our query that we would like to be summed based on the aggregation specified by the group by selection. Naturally, these balances will be numeric values from the underlying data set. Let's pick both quantity and market value for this demonstration. Finally, we have the filter section, which allows us to filter the aggregated results based on the values for certain group bys. Let's leave this section blank for now and execute the query as defined. This query is executing over approximately 1 million rows or items of data, and all of the Hermit instances are running on a modestly powered MacBook Air computer. So let's give the query a few seconds to return the data. Okay, here we can see the results from our query. We can see that the data has been grouped by the requested group bys of product description and account description, and we have some balances of quantity and market value. At present, data is sorted by product description in ascending order. However, it is possible to change that by clicking on the relevant group by as so. Re-clicking an already sorted group by will invert the sort order. By default, only the first 10 results are returned. However, we can use the navigation bar below, like so, to navigate through these results. We can also adjust the number of results displayed using the drop-down combo box. To go back to the query setup screen, we simply click the Back to Query link at the top of the results screen. Now, let's add a filter to our query to reduce results, return to a specific account and product. We can specify the account description as follows. As you can see, hints are displayed to aid in the query completion. It is also possible to filter the data on group bys that have not been selected for display. Here we can filter the data using product ID rather than product description. A hint is given at the bottom of the query that will confirm if the filter entered is indeed valid, and an error message will be displayed if there's any problems with the syntax. there. We can see the data has been returned, filtered accordingly to our query. Before we conclude this short demonstration, let's take a quick look at the console screen, which shows how our Hermit instances have been configured. Administrators can access the console screen by clicking the console link in the top right hand corner of the query screen. The console data displayed is the current instance localhost 8080, which, as already explained, is an empty instance and does not have any local data. So, as can be seen, all data sources originate from remote instances. A summary of the data sources is available with the name, number of rows, and the current load status listed. If a data source is currently loading or is in a failed state, then the relevant status will be displayed here. Some brief information on the memory usage is also displayed below, and it's possible to clear the query cache, like so, or perform a full GC if allowed by the underlying JVM. We can dig deeper into the configuration of the remote instances by clicking on the relevant instance link. Let's take a look at the instance currently hosting the London position data. As you can see, we have a similar console screen is opened. However, this time we can see that all the data is local. It is possible to reload the local data by clicking the Load Local Data button, like so. And after clicking the confirmation button and waiting a small amount of time, we can see that data has been, or is in the process of being, reloaded. One thing to note about the data in this example, we have the main London position data, which is published to the master cache and is available for use in our queries. However, we can also see that this particular configure relation relies on some reference data from the data sources, product data and account data. For this demonstration, the account description and product description is provided by the account and product data sources respectively. This data is joined in the London position data within the configuration file, and so it's only necessary for London position data to be published for queries. This example demonstrates that it is possible to combine data from different data sources into the one Hermit data source that can then be used for queries. It is possible to query data for this particular Hermit instance by clicking on the query link in the top right hand corner of the console screen. Okay, so that concludes this brief demonstration of Hermit, a distributed data caching and query tool. Hermit has been developed as a minimum viable product using agile software development methodologies. I'm looking for potential customers to partner with in order to aid the further development of this tool. So please, if you feel that your organisation may benefit from the features provided by Hermit, please get in touch. Thanks for watching.